Well, 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 look who finally decided to show up. Hey guys, and welcome back to the first and last episode of me eating an entire can of olives in just one bite. And today, we are looking at the very first Cyberzoic figure I have ever reviewed. And quite possibly the best Beast of the Mesozoic, well, okay, it's Cyberzoic. Sorry, creative beast figure that I have ever gotten. I am saying that right now because I honestly genuinely feel that way, and I don't think anything will ever change my mind until they release something better. Maybe even the Kellington, that would be cool. I really hope it has a good color scheme. African Darter would look really good on it, just saying. Anyways, let's just go ahead and take a look at this. So, I guess I'll just take a look. Oh god, it's dusty already. I've only had this, like, why does everything get so dusty? Oh wait, I was just making a sculpture, I bet that's why. Looking at the packaging, it is a little bit different than the Beast of the Mesozoic packaging. It looks really cool, I'm gonna be honest. In fact, I kind of like it better than the BOTM packaging. Because if you take a look, it's not just a simple square. If you look at it, it's actually got these cut off, like, it doesn't have corners. That's what I'm trying to say. It's got these flat little corners there, except for this one. This one's trying to be different, as you can see there. But it looks really cool. I like the shape, and I love the design with this really nice artwork and all the, Fire Clan 1/18 scale. You can see it's the unit type is the unit is Pyrodactyl, and then it is a mount. But speaking of the Pyrodactyl, that should be coming sometime. I don't remember if it's December or sometime next year, but I do have the Pyrodactyl and whatever the guy that comes with that bundle. So when that arrives, I will review that as well, but I'm just reviewing the Dilo now because I have it, and I'm definitely not waiting until that the Pyrodactyl comes. But that's enough, and let's just finish with the packaging. If you turn it on around, you can see on the side there, you've got really nice artwork. Fantastic artwork, I should say. This is just wonderful. Just wonderful. If we turn it around, you of course have some photography of the figure, as well as the full piece with the Pyrodactyl armor and all that, and the dude, which is apparently the Fire Knight, which I forgot, because I didn't really care so much about the guy, but it is nice that it is included, and I will be happy that it is included as well. So we've got that, and then of course you've got the other things in the Pyrodactyl unit, as well as some good old-fashioned stuff. We always like some stuff on this channel. You all know we love some stuff. But yeah, there's the box there. You can't really see it, but there it is. Oh, wow, isn't it great? You also have this window up at the top, which is nice because it lets in more light than you would usually have. But that's about it. You've got the Fire Clan logo over there. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box already. Oh yeah, it's got this like inner like cardboard piece that goes in it, and I thought it was kind of cool. I thought I would show it. All the BOTM figures have this, but the Cyberzoic ones are interesting because not only do you get this pattern, which is the default grid pattern that you see on the displayed on the figure and while it's in the box. And I'm gonna be honest, it reminds me a lot of the Enterprise D holodeck, especially if it was yellow, which I'm pretty sure there is a yellow version. I think the Allosaurus might have it. I don't know, but this one's red. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, you're cool, okay? If you don't, too bad. But on the other side, you get this, which is the background of the artwork on the front of the box, and it looks really cool. Now, I don't know what you would really do with this. I guess you could use it as a background, but I don't know. I've never really known what to do with these other than just look at them because they're pretty. I guess if you really liked it, you could frame it, but I'm gonna be honest, that's kind of kind of weird because there's not really anything to it. It's pretty, but there's no Dilo on it, so, there's that. But, it's a cool piece of artwork, and I'm glad it's included. I'm not going to throw this one because I do kind of like it. Okay, I throw it a little bit. Alright, first of all, we've got the collector card, which you can see has the same packaging art on it, but it looks really cool. Look at that. Wow, so high quality. You got all the details and everything. It will focus, but yeah, it's the same artwork, but it looks really cool. And of course, as you flip it around, you've got this, which is actually the new layout for the collector's cards. I'm sorry if you can hear the wind right now. It is so annoying. I also really freaking cold in here, and I hate it. And you've got the new layout, so it does work with the Zoic trading card game, that new card game that they have been working on, and that's pretty cool. I think all of the Cyberzoic figures cards work with the game, even though it technically hasn't released yet. That it's pretty cool. You basically get an early version of the card game, so that's pretty cool. And of course, on there you've got your stuff, which, of course, you gotta like the stuff. Now, there's something I noticed. On the box here, you can see on the species profile, it says Earth Origin, Mongolia, but I saw that and I was like, I don't think that's right. I'm pretty sure Dilophosaurus didn't come from Mongolia, and on the card it says it comes from Arizona, and that seems more right to me. I'm fairly certain Dilophosaurus does come from Arizona. So, is this just a mistake? What's going on here? I assume it's just a mistake, but am I missing something? I have no idea, but I thought I would point it out. It's a little funny. But enough with that. Let's bring in the accessories, because these are fun, right? Everyone likes accessories. So, of course, you've got the extra feet here. As always, you get the, stepping down toes, and then you've got, the, I don't know, what are these? What do you call these? I don't know. I never know what to call these. You have curled toes, and you have stepping toes, but they're also both stepping toes, because this one's stepping down and this one's about to step. So what do you even call them? I don't know. They're feet. That's what they are. And you also, of course, get the flat feet that are already on the figure, but you know that, and I don't need to say it, but you get extra feet for your posing convenience. You also get this nice stand, which I've already put together. It's just a little sticker you add to this little base here, and then you of course just attach the arm, which is really easy, and it has instructions that tell you. In fact, I wanted to show the instructions. Where did they go? Here they are. These instructions are really, really cool, I have to say. Usually everything else before this, all the creative-y stuff, which is just BOTM, and of course, BOTC, but their instructions were not really designed. I mean, they were just to get to the point. It's just what you need to know. But this one actually is designed really well. It looks really nice. I could see this coming in like an actual toy, you get at the store. I don't know how to say it, but of course this is a really good figure, and I think it's just cool. Even the instructions look nice. You even got a little thing, a little picture of the Dilo over here, and it just looks really nice. So shout out to the instructions, because they look really cool, and I appreciate the extra effort they went to make the instructions look cool, because usually I don't even care about them, but they're cool. But back to the base, you have the stand as well as these little top pieces. Where is the other one? I just had it. Where did it go? Okay, well, I'm not digging it out. It came with that little little piece that you do. Not one of these. Not one of the cradles. It came with the extender piece kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, right? Maybe I can find a picture of one. But it just extends it out a little bit so you have a little bit more room. I don't really find them that useful, but if you wanted something like that, that little piece would help you. If I had it, you know, there's the stand. They're really cool. You can adjust this if you want. It's really fun, really nice. Now it's time to get into the figure. And here it is, the Dilophosaurus itself, in all of its glory. Isn't it just beautiful? I have to say, this figure in person looks so good, and I'm so glad, because when I first saw this figure, when it was first revealed, like the painted prototype, I was just instantly in love with it, because there was so much detail, and like the different colors. It's not a bright flashy color scheme in any way, but it really just looks so good, and it looks so realistic, and there's just aspects to this sculpt that I freaking love, and this figure has influenced my way of drawing Dilophosaurus so much. I made a sculpture about it. Well, it's not of this figure specifically, but it is heavily inspired upon this figure, which I'll bring in that sculpture later. And now I cannot draw a Dilophosaurus that doesn't have this particular, shape to the crest, or a little crunkle on its face. So I guess let's just go ahead and take a look at the sculpt here, because it is really nice. I mean, look at the head sculpt there. If this thing will focus on it, there we go. Look at that. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I just want to, I don't want to eat it, but like, I just love it so much. If we take a look, you can see, compared with the BOTM Dilophosaurus, oh my god, just focus. There's nothing else in the background. I guess there's the gourds, but they're off to the side. Who cares about them? You can see, I don't know, this one's paintwork just looks way more it looks better in some way. I don't really know how to describe it. This one's still really good, but this one's on another level, man. What can I say? You're not helping me. I'm trying to praise you on how good you are, and you just fall over like that. It's not very nice of you. Just saying. But yeah, if we just take a look at this head, look at this. Oh my god, the detail is insane. But you got your classic BOTM quality, but I think honestly it's better than normal, and that's saying something, because BOTM is always really high quality. But just like the reds and the oranges and the browns and the blues up in the crest and the washes and dry brushes, oh my gosh, it just looks so good. And if we open the mouth, look at that! It's got a blue mouth. Now you might be wondering, well, why is its mouth blue? That's an interesting choice. Well, I have a fact to tell you. This figure, as well as its BOTM brother over here, is based on the double-crested cormorant, which is very fitting considering this is the double-crested lizard. And what does the double-crested cormorant have? A blue mouth, at least during the breeding season. I'm not sure if they always have a blue mouth. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I'm not a cormorant expert, though I should be, because they are related to anhingas. But really cool choice, and you honestly can't really tell that it's based on the cormorant. Just the blue mouth, and of course, the basic coloration of it, but all the reds and stuff. It's very, very creative looking. I do have to say, this is quite the creative beast. And of course, probably my favorite aspects of this figure are in the face here, and it is the crest. I love the way that the keratin is sculpted, the way it's sort of jagged, and you look at it, it's not smooth like this one is. Now this one does look good, but this one, I just love the shape. It also has a crunkle on its face, which is this little fleshy bit here, and I really appreciate this, because I always love having little fleshy bits, whether that be a dewlap or some sort of crunkle on the face. I just love having that, because a lot of birds and reptiles have them. And of course, birds and reptiles are basically the same thing, and what is a Dilophosaurus? A dinosaur, which is a reptile, so they probably had some sort of crunkles, at least some species might have. Not saying Dilophosaurus specifically could have had. I mean, it definitely could have, but we don't know. And that's the thing I love about it, because you don't know. So you can't prove me wrong unless you find a really preserved specimen. And I just love the way that it like goes into this little wrinkle on the side of the neck. Everything flows together so nicely, and like the coloration. There is one thing I do have to say. I don't know if this is intentional or not. I don't think it would be. But the spot around its tongue here, you can see that, is not painted. It's just gold, which is, I assume, the base color of the plastic. And, I don't know. It's not too distracting, but at the same time, it's a little weird looking at it, because I wouldn't really be too bothered about it if the BOTM version also had this, but it does have that little spot is painted, so I don't know what happened here, but I thought I'd just point it out. But you know, you've got the same similar feather patterning and all that of the BOTM version. It is a slightly different color. The BOTM version, especially on the underside, is a lot more saturated orange than this one, which I didn't really notice before having them both in person, because they do kind of look the same. They're very similar, but you can see this one's way more orange, and this is a lot more faded and dull. It's still orange, but it's, you know, a little more dull. And you might be able to say, like, this is the male and this is the female. I know I've seen a lot of people saying this is the female version and this is the male, but they're so different. And at the same time, this could also be a male, because it does have the crunkle and all that, and a lot of male birds and all that do have all the fancy stuff. But sometimes, who knows, maybe the male has an even crazier crunkle on his face, and maybe even more colors on his crest. So it's really up to you, but I think for me personally, they're both could be whichever. Because, you know, this one doesn't have a crunkle, but it's very brightly colored. But I could see this being a male or a female, and I could see this one being a male or a female. So, I don't know. I find that interesting. In fact, I would go as far to say, is if you really wanted to, like, do it, this could be, like, some different subspecies of Dilophosaurus. And I find that to be kind of my opinion of this one is the subspecies, and this one is just the regular Dilophosaurus. Of course, we don't know of any subspecies of Dilophosaurus, but you could make it up. It's all up to you. It doesn't have to be real, and I find that really cool, because you can do whatever you want with them. And I know everything's out of focus, and it would have been a lot nicer if everything was in focus. But, you know, should I turn this on? I think it kind of looks cool, so I'm going to keep it on. But, you know, you've got the same sort of gray patterns with the dry brush. And it's got some nice feathers sculpted in there. The tip of the tail also does have stripes. Not as many colors. This one's got sort of like a reddish brown striped. And it's got the black tip, which I kind of like. This one doesn't. This one's just brown. And the tip of the tail on this one is like, it's got like a much heavier wash over it than like this piece, which does look a little bit off, but it's not too noticeable, and I don't really care that much. I forgot to mention, this piece is just a little floating piece here, and you can remove it if you want. You do have to take off the neck, but, well, you don't have to. You could just slide it over its head, but I really don't recommend it. I'm saying yes, I did do that, but I don't recommend it, because it has the possibility to snap the plastic, or, you know, rub some paint off, and you don't want that on your expensive figure. So I just recommend heating the neck up with a hairdryer and just popping this off, because it's just much more worth it, and that's what they say to do in the instructions. But I was lazy and didn't want to get the hairdryer out. But I'm gonna be honest, it looks way better with this little feather piece there, so I'm just gonna keep it on. But yeah, there's not really much to go over. It does have stripes on its legs here, so that's pretty cool. It's got all of its claws painted. And there's an interesting difference between this one and the BOTM one. It's probably just an issue with my figure specifically, but if you can see, the details on the chest here are a lot less, like, defined than they are on this one. Probably just due to the different paints that were used. But, like, this one, there's a lot of detail in this. Like, there's lots of scales and all that. This one, there still is a lot of detail in there, but it's kind of gotten filled up with paint. And it's just a little less defined. But now it's time for the best part, because it's time for articulation. My favorite part. And this figure does not disappoint with articulation, because, of course, you've got the insane range of motion in the neck that the Dilophosaurus has, and it is definitely not disappointing. I mean, look at this bend. Look at the bend. You can, like, do this. And don't worry. I say don't worry, and I was not expecting that. Okay, well, I guess I'll stop doing it. It's probably because it's so cold in here. So, I guess, by the way, if you're in a cold room, be careful with it, because, the plastic gets a little more brittle when it's cold, so, you know, be careful. So, I'm a little upset about that, because I was just gonna say how, oh, you can bend this as much as you want, you can force it however you want, like, of course, don't, like, force it, like, so much, but these are, like, meant to bend farther than the regular articulation would allow, if that makes any sense. But if you're in a cold room, don't do it. As I was saying, articulation. This figure, of course, has the same articulation as the beast of the Mesozoic Dilophosaurus, but I will still show it in case you didn't watch that video, because, well, you're here to watch this one and not that one. Now, I just have to say, I really like this figure. I can't really say much bad about it, other than the facts I pointed out. You know, the limiting articulation in the knees is a little disappointing, but at the same time, I think most of the figure makes up for it, and I'm trying to get this thing to stand. If you bring in the Biotium Dilophosaurus, like, this thing looks really cool, and I was really happy with it when it first came out, and I still am, but compared to the Cyberzoic version, it just, look at it, it's just, I don't really know what to say, honestly. And of course, let's do some size comparisons. So I've got the Biotium Medusaceratops here, so you can have like a smallish, medium, I don't know, ceratopsian for size comparison purposes. Also got the Proceratosaurus in here, and the Chianzausaurus. There we go, we got the Chianzausaurus in there. And I guess I'll also get the Achillibator, because why not? There you go. And for like a medium-sized-ish theropod, metallotheropod, I've got the new Rebirth Utah Raptor. There you go. Look at that. I also thought I'd bring in the Hammond Collection Dilophosaurus, because it's another Dilophosaurus, and I don't know, why not? And finally, it's the classic, the tradition. No size comparison would be complete without a Mattel Velociraptor. Also, I hate to break the tradition, but I can't find the anhinga. I lost it, and then I found it, and then I lost it again, because, you know, I put it in a place I thought I'd remember where it was, you know, as you do, and then you forget where it is, so, it'll be back next review, probably. I say that, and I probably won't, but I wanted to mention, this is the sculpture that I made back when this was first revealed, and I really liked it. I mean, if you look at it, you can definitely see the similarities. I mean, this one obviously looks way better, but, you know, this was really my first sculpture and really got me into sculpts. It got me into sculpting, and I really have this Dilophosaurus figure to thank for it. Even though I just got it, it somehow made me want to sculpt this Dilophosaurus, and I just think that's pretty interesting. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That is the Cyberzoic Dilophosaurus. Genuinely such an amazing figure. I love it so much, and it might actually be my favorite figure in my collection right now. And I'm going to say it's the best Dilophosaurus you can get right now, because, I mean, just the paint quality alone is crazy, especially, and that's saying something because Creative Beast Studio always just does incredible paint work and quality overall, but this one is just on another level, and I'm not entirely sure how, but it is, and I am honestly blown away by it. Do I recommend this figure? Hell yeah, I do. This is such a cool figure. I mean, what more can I really say? If you're interested in getting this, just do it, because who knows how long this is going to stay in stock. The last Dilophosaurus didn't stay in stock very long, and it's just so worth it. You will not be disappointed. Probably. I don't know. I am not disappointed. It is exactly what I was hoping for, and it's just great, and I love it so much. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next video, whenever that will be, because, you know, I do that. Goodbye. But I'm very excited. What? I do have to say, it is a little bit limited in this bottle. It's not a bottle. I combined model and body. Good anhinga. I hate this thing. Why have I not gotten rid of this? It like literally as soon as I paused to get this Dilo, I didn't have it on camera. Of course, it did it right after I pushed the button. This thing, it's like drained itself, like it's eroded the aluminum, and it is literally just, there's nothing left, even though it's not open, and it's like all sunken in here. So whenever the temperature changes, it like pops out like this, and I hate it. It scares me every time. I don't know why I still have it.